Hello there students, a warm welcome to this video series. Our today's topic is the most dreaded topic of all, which is public speaking. Okay, the name itself is horrifying, right? Students, to make sure that the ghosts of public speaking no longer haunt you, this is your host Dhruvi Bhatt, this is your instructor Dhruvi Bhatt, trying to establish that public speaking is not that big a deal. Okay, it is a big deal. It has been a big deal with me, with you, and with many others. Don't trust me? There is an entire phobia specially delegated to fear of public speaking. Think about the number of people that would be afraid of that. Have you experienced this? Have you felt that if faculty would tell, okay, that now I would be asking you a question, are you one of those who would just hide behind your friend? Are you one of those who would just not want to stand up and speak anything or read out in front of the class? Then you might be suffering from glossophobia. Are you one of those that when you have to share a stage or when you have to stand on a stage and speak something, you feel that your stomach is churning, your heartbeat is just pacing too fast, your throat is just getting too drenched? Are you one of those? Then you are suffering from glossophobia. And if you are one of those, trust me, you are not alone. Trust me.
Okay, just get up on that podium. All right, I'm here. That was easy. Now I just need to... Oh my gosh! How many people are in the audience? 100? 1,000? Don't count. Okay, I can do this. I'm gonna focus on my notes. What did I have written down again? Hello. Okay, if this sounds like your worst nightmare, you're not alone. Actually, you're one of the estimated 70% of the population that has an intense fear of public speaking.
More of a population who live with the fear of public speaking, who think that speaking in public is more difficult than death itself. Okay, they prefer death to making a public speech. Before moving into further detail, let us try to understand that why this fear, and is this fear limited to us common individuals? Okay, clarifying your this doubt first, this fear is not limited to you and me. Okay, you would be thinking that ma'am, you are just kidding, you are not at all afraid of public speaking. Trust me, when I went into my first lecture, I was totally perspiring. When climbing those stairs going till the classroom, it felt like a decade. It felt that I would not be able to speak a word when I would be standing on stage in front of lot of my students. Students, each one of us have this fear. Not yet convinced? I think you know her. If you don't, okay, she is Julia Roberts. She suffers from glossophobia. At least you would be knowing him. He is Abraham Lincoln. He too suffered from glossophobia. Not very much convinced? Our very own Mahatma Gandhi, obviously he needs no introduction. He too suffered from glossophobia, so much so that he actually got too nervous and was totally silent when he fought his first case as a lawyer. Such a known lawyer, such a known personality, the most famous freedom fighter, he too suffered glossophobia. But they overcame it. And today they are very well known, and today they are very well known speakers, very good celebrities, and their thoughts and their speeches have created inspirations. How come they went from there to there? Let us see and let us try to understand this. Okay, before I tell you that how to overcome your fear, if you have any related to public speaking, I would first tell you that where this fear origins. This fear origins when our parents tell us that behave properly when you are in front of guests. This is actually programmed in our brains that other people with whom we are not very much accustomed with, or other people except our family, except our immediate family, are the people who will judge us, and in front of them we are taught to behave nicely. So this fear of public speaking comes from here. Our parents actually told us to behave nicely, so that people think that we are a good kid. From that childhood itself, it carried forward. We got afraid of others. We got afraid of people. We got afraid of public judging us. We just don't go upon that stage because we are afraid to make mistakes. What if I fumble? What if I do not remember a topic? What if I say something which would create a controversy? So many what ifs without any answers. This is the reason, this is the root of your fear. But students, constant practice and proper planning will get rid of this fear of public speaking. For that, make sure that you first talk to yourself a lot. Okay, your vocabulary must be good. Yes. Secondly, before any public speech, go for proper planning, organize the speech, write down the speech, speak the speech in front of a mirror. Trust me, mirror would be your best friend and it wouldn't judge you. Okay, so speak your speech many times in front of the mirror before the actual speech, and you're good to go. And when you're there on the stage, just keep calm and tell your heart that all is well and all will be actually well. Trust me, it's no bigger deal, and trust me, no one would judge. And even if they judge, they don't matter, right? Okay, students, so public speaking is a very required trait. Coming down to the serious things here, it is a very much required trait. There is no escape plan from this. In whichever field you are, public speaking is very much dire necessity for you to become a leader. Okay, and who wouldn't like to be a leader sooner or later in their lives? For you to become a leader, a good businessman, an inspirational person, you would have to become a public speaker. Students, I've seen many TED Talks video. You would be thinking that, wow, they are amazing speaker who talk in these videos. I too feel the same inspiration, but they too suffered from fear of public speaking. Not convinced? Just check YouTube on your own and see many speakers have themselves told that they were very bad at public speaking and they were very afraid, and they too were one of those who got frightened when faculty called out their name in the classroom and told them to just read a paragraph. This happens with each one of us. The only thing is how to recover from it, how to surpass our fears, and how to stand in front of a camera and speak. Okay, so that was public speaking. Getting into technical details here, obviously we first need to define what public speaking is. It is the process of designing and delivering a message to your audiences. More importantly, it is a process of designing first and delivering afterwards. Students, in effective public speaking, it is necessary that you design your speech initially. You make sure that you have drafted it properly, you have written it properly, you have memorized it properly, and you have correctly gone through each and everything. You have enough support materials, you have enough knowledge, you have enough material to present, to speak. Only then you could be successful in any public speech. So here, what does a good public speech mean, or how is it different from a bad public speech? Students, here how you speak, your communication skill is important, but one more thing which is important is how much impact you create by your speech. How do you present yourself, how do you present your idea, and how much impactfully you give across this idea. I have told you this millions of times that you wouldn't be a good speaker if you know good English. You would be a good speaker if at least 10 out of the 50 people to whom you are talking, at least 10 of them are convinced with your thoughts and with your ideas. then you are a good public speaker. Okay. I always give this example of Narendra Modi. He has created a huge impact. Students, millions of people, population of millions of people, each belonging to different caste, creed, gender, religions, each one of them fighting together in this pandemic of corona, each one of them clapping hands and maybe lighting diyas just on the speech of the Prime Minister. Did we not have any Prime Ministers before him? We had. Did we agree to each and everything which all the Prime Ministers told us to do? We didn't. Then what is the difference? Difference is the speech, students. Difference is the inspiration. Difference is the impact you create within your audiences. And that is what you are aiming from, the impact. Okay. Moving on, students, let us see that what are the various purposes for which public speech can be used. First and foremost, public speeches are used to inform. Okay, these speeches are informational speeches where a person having knowledge would just speak to impart this knowledge, like faculties teaching to students, like doctors talking in a conference, like medical representative talking about different medicines in front of different audiences. All these speeches are speaking to inform. Seminars are speeches to inform. Okay, in these speeches there is very less indulgence or participation of the audiences. The main role is only of the speaker, because here the speaker is informing to the audiences what the speaker already knows and the audience is unaware of. So that is speaking to inform. Our second purpose of public speeches is speaking to persuade. Okay, that's my favorite picture there. Students, persuasion is an art. Trust me, it is an awesome art. If you can persuade, what is meant by persuade? Persuasion actually means to convince. Okay, if you can convince someone, then you are actually blessed with an ability. Okay, convincing someone to do something according to your will and wish, that is the speech to persuade. Speech to persuade or to convince. Mostly these type of speeches are used in selling something, or they can be used by national leaders, they can be used by politicians, they can be used by celebrities, they can be used by different people who want to convince you or to inspire you to and who want to sell you their thoughts, their ideas and their products or services. So that is speaking to persuade. Okay. Our third purpose of public speeches is speaking to entertain. Obviously, this is the best purpose, and these are the best type of speeches, and they have the maximum views on YouTube too. Okay, students, in speaking to entertain, you just speak for the entertainment of other people. Maybe it is a stand-up comedy. Maybe you are just giving out a wedding speech, a farewell speech, a speech to your friend for his preparation or for a career advice maybe. These are just speeches to entertain. They can be used in formal and informal both backgrounds, in companies too. You can be called upon to entertain others. So for that, the speeches used would be speaking to entertain. Okay. Moving onwards, students, let us see that what are different modes of delivery of a public speech. If you remember, only if you remember, I have already told you that modes of delivery would be exactly same for the presentations as well as for the public speeches. Everything is exactly same for the presentation as well as public speeches. Whatever the differences are, I'll tell you then and there. But in the presentation strategies, we already learned the modes of delivery of speech along with their advantages and disadvantages. I would just brief you again, and if you want to know the advantages and disadvantages, you can visit my video of presentation strategies where I have discussed modes of delivery of speech. Okay, let us revise them a little bit so that those of you who have not seen the video can get to know too. Our first type of speech is extemporaneous speech. In extemporaneous mode of delivery of speech, you are told about the topic of speech beforehand. You know the topic beforehand. You can prepare for the topic beforehand. You can create support materials, presentations, charts, flip notes, etc. All the materials which you require beforehand, before the day of speech. You can collect all the material, bring together all the material, do proper planning, and you would have well prepared an entire speech. But you will not learn the entire speech. You can write down some of the main points which you can refer to if you forget one of the points. Okay, so you can go to the speech, you can go to give the speech along with this material, which is a support material, but you do not have to speak it word to word as you have written. Okay, it is not necessary here. This is quite a flexible type of speech. It is necessary that you include the main points, but it is not necessary that you speak just as you have prepared. You can use the flexibility and change the topic, change the pace according to the reaction of the audiences. Okay, our second type of mode of delivery of speech is memorization. Here too, the topic is known to you beforehand. Okay, you would prepare the speech of the entire topic, you would refine it again and again, and at the end the finished speech is learnt by heart by the speaker. Here you need to wrote the speech, and you need to remember the speech word to word, along with punctuation marks, along with where you have to pause, along with all the non-verbal and verbal things included. Okay, so this is quite a difficult task here, but this is speaking from your memory. Here a lot of reliance is on your memory. So quite a difficult mode of delivery for some of the people, but for some who are born with this boon of easy remembering power or having very good memory, for them this is a good mode of delivery, because here obviously you would be having an advantage that you will be able to complete your speech in the stipulated time, and because you have memorized everything, there is hardly any chances of anything going wrong. Okay, our third type of speech is manuscript speech. Manuscript is a mode of delivery where you write down the entire speech and you just read it in front of your audiences. You know the topic beforehand, entire speech would be written down properly. It can go for corrections, it can go for modifications. After everything is modified, the perfect final speech is written down, and before the audiences you would just read out the speech. Man, this is the most easy one. It is not. For this you would require an immense reading talent. Okay, only if you can read very nicely, very enthusiastically and with full eagerness, only then your audience will not sleep. Otherwise, I will guarantee that they will go to sleep. Okay, our last mode of delivery of speech is impromptu. Okay, as the word suggests, it is impromptu. On the spot you are given a topic, on the spot you need to speak about the given topic. Here you do not at all get time for preparation and you have to speak on the spot. In most of the cases, this type of mode of delivery is used in informal speeches like a wedding speech, like a farewell speech, like a speech for vote of thanks, etc. Most of the formal speeches and formal presentations would require lot of preparation, lot of planning, and there this mode of delivery should not be used. It is not preferable to use this mode. Okay students, these were all about the modes of delivery, and this was all about today's lecture. Thank you so much for so patiently listening to me. This is Dhruvi Bhatt signing off. Until next time, bye-bye.